Hey, fishy friends, this is Fish Film Fridays. Back at it again with another ep. Joined as always, we got J Red and Danny Ocean.
What's up? This one goes out to Sullivan.
Shout out to Sullivan.
Raise some Powerade Zero to Sullivan.
And today we're breaking down one of the grumpiest movies I think you could see. 2008's Gran Torino, starring Clint Eastwood.
Grumpier than Danny Ocean at a sunrise battlefield trip.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He was pretty grumpy in this, wouldn't you say?
That's all he's about. I think this movie is designed for the old grump white audience.
Yeah, this is a boomer movie. I mean, that's my big takeaway, I think. But anyway, so Gran Torino, right? This is the story of Walt Kowalski, played by Clint, who lives in, Detroit?
Yeah, I think so.
And he's a Korean War veteran living in a...
No, Vietnam War veteran.
No, Korean.
God damn it.
Korean War veteran, which almost has some symbolism there that we can get into. But he's living in his old house, and times have changed. And Clint, after the war, clearly worked at a Ford factory. But the movie starts off at a funeral, right? It's Clint's wife's funeral. And
I want to point out it is a Catholic funeral, which is notable because our podcast is named after a joke about Jared being a Catholic. And this is the first time we've actually seen Catholicism shown in a movie thus far.
Very prominent film.
So shout out to the fake institution of the Catholic Church in America.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the movie opens up on Walt Kowalski. He's already got the Clint Eastwood face on, you know. He's grizzled the whole time. And he's looking around at his family who walk in, and it's his grandchildren, and a kid is in a Detroit Lions jersey.
Ooh, that
sick. So sick.
Wearing a number 11 Detroit Lions, who I didn't search up what jersey he's wearing, but
is that Roy Williams?
I was going to say, I think might be Roy Williams, but number 11 for the Lions in 2008.
Well, it might be a historical jersey.
Yeah, it's Roy Williams.
No, it was definitely like that jersey from that year.
Yeah.
But he looks on his stupid grandsons. The other ones are doing little jokes when they're crossing themselves. And then his granddaughter walks in, and she's got a bare midriff.
And the belly button ring, I think, right?
Yes. And how rude do you have to be to do that?
The lack of self-awareness.
My big takeaway of his family is they do not even attempt to appease the grandfather. Their grandmother died, and they didn't even dress up in funeral clothing, an appropriate wardrobe.
Yeah, just shitty sons.
At a certain point, you have to ask yourself, if you're like hating on your family and how they show up in a situation like that, you have to ask yourself, is this because of me? You know, maybe he should have been a cooler grandpa.
Probably. It seems like the family is frustrated with him from the get-go. You know, this is a long time coming. You see the two sons sort of talking like, hey, maybe you can live with him. And, they laugh because it's like, hell no, that's not going to happen. I was wondering, do you guys have any family members you treat like this, where you hate their guts and you disrespect
Actually,
them?
no, on my end.
We definitely have some family members that would show up to a funeral like this. They show up to a formal occasion like this in very terrible taste and not see a single thing wrong with it. And actually, I think at my grandfather's funeral, I think I had a similar incident where I had a cousin show up, potentially not in a Detroit Lions jersey. I think it was in a Browns jersey.
No shot.
In a Catholic church, a very.
Nah, you're lying.
No, this is like in that it's a Rust Belt town where people just think it's like okay to wear like jeans and a football jersey to church.
It might be a Midwestern thing. Maybe that's a thing.
I think there's a lot of Midwest like trash sentiment reflected in this movie a lot. Yeah.
And do you think Clint Eastwood, because Clint Eastwood directed this, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Direction all over it.
Do you think he supports sort of that Midwest value life throughout the movie?
I think he knows his market.
Oh, he's just trying to advertise to them.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's interesting you say the word advertise, because there were a few times when I was like, is this movie literally a Ford commercial?
Oh, yeah.
Like, they must have put a lot of money into it for sure, but...
Well, I think part of this was like this was right during the auto bailout. I bet some Ford money went towards this. Because like trying to be like, yeah, we need to save this old image of America.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yes, that is pretty
Was this a big auto propaganda and we didn't know it right away?
That's
no,
crazy
it definitely is. Like, it 100% is. It's literally called the name of a type of car.
Yeah, the last shot, I am like, this is a car commercial.
Yeah.
Last shot of the movie.
And like all the shots of his truck too, like, and they're like, oh, back when I used to work at the Ford plant.
You keep talking about Ford. Anyway, I mean, at the funeral, it's clear that his family does not share his values or really respect him, right? And then you see this priest come up and he says some shit that really isn't that impactful. And he's a child. The priest is a child. I don't know how they do it in Catholicism, but that boy's too young to be talking, dude.
And that's how it is sometimes. Beggars can't be choosers.
And Clint actually calls him a virgin at one point.
27-year-old overeducated virgin, which is, if I may say so myself, fucking me.
Dan, you just don't wear the robe. That's all the difference is with you.
Anyway, the next scene, Walt is hosting the
wake,
the funeral procession, the wake, right? The wake
with the wake. Is it the wake? I thought the wake was like before,
or it's like the open house. Yeah. It's like the open house, and everybody comes over, and they're all going to have food, and it's in this suburb in Detroit, and we see these sort of flashes that the neighborhood surrounding him has become pretty Asian. And I'm going to be specific. They're Hmong.
No, incorrect pronunciation. Try again.
Try again, Tim.
Hmong.
No, try again. They literally tell you in the movie how to pronounce it.
Hmong?
Yes.
There you go.
Oh, like silent H?
Yeah.
I had subtitles on, so I was reading a lot.
It's better than what I was going to call them.
Did you notice how the subtitles, they would refer, at least for me, they would refer to the sounds that Clint Eastwood would make as growling?
Yes.
I loved that. That was so funny.
He's definitely growling.
It's funny because he's the real animal, not the ethnic group, whatever it is that he calls swamp rats.
Yep. Out of the gate, he calls them swamp rats as he's watering. You know, he says, how many swamp rats are there? And there's sort of an interesting dichotomy because at his house, they're having, post-funeral, remembering his wife's life. And meanwhile, the Hmong family, they're having like a life celebration for a pregnant woman.
Oh, good catch, John.
Yeah, so there is sort of an interesting
life passes,
life comes sort of thing going on. Walt's family's continuing to be dicks at the house. They're in his basement rummaging through his war trophies. The kids are.
You went through grandparent shit, though, when you're like bored at like a family event.
Yeah,
no,
I think so. I can't picture it, but I'm sure I did.
Yeah, I was like younger, like when you're probably under the age.
Actually, I do remember I went through, I think it was at my grandpa's house, and we accidentally found the Christmas gifts for us, and he was pissed. It's like, now I got to get you something else. So I kind of learned from that.
I don't know. If it was like a cool army trunk like that, I'd definitely dig through it. That looks enticing.
Yeah, and why isn't Walt sort of showing his collection and trying to teach his kids, hey, I did this, I did that, this is the Bronze Star.
His wife just died.
Yeah. No one's letting that man mourn. Honestly, the priest,
Yeah, they're all just in his house, fucking around, eating free food that he's paying for.
not helping him set up the party.
Yeah, the chairs are interesting. He goes down to grab some chairs, and then
I thought that was weird. There's
only two, and then the granddaughter is like trying to help him, and she calls. What does he call her? Like a whore, pretty much. I wouldn't want to hurt your nails or something like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just not going well. Like he couldn't connect to a tree.
Well, no, but he does later in the movie.
Spoiler.
What do you mean?
Have you ever heard any racial group actually? What does swamp rat mean? Like, I've never even heard that before.
Oh, you haven't watched enough like Vietnam type movies.
Is that what he's referring to there?
Yeah, it's like any.
Are there a lot of swamps in Vietnam?
Yeah, the jungles, man. And then,
but he wasn't in Vietnam. He was in Korea.
I know, but he just calls them all the same. You not catch on to that? He uses like racial slurs for Japanese people.
Oh yeah, he sees no
what
difference.
Is Zipperhead?
Well, that one's pretty.
Is that one bad?
That one's bad.
He says that one a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Who does that one refer to?
This movie had a 2008 version of like just using a lot of Asian racial slurs that no one really is going to ever bat an eye about for a little bit, I feel like.
Well, it's sort of a crash of 2008, and it's interesting because, this is Obama, this is Hope, and Clint Eastwood's pretty famously conservative.
Right, he spoke at the convention that year, or was the time after?
2012.
Time after.
When he spoke to the chair.
Yeah.
Oh, God, right, when he spoke to the chair.
Those were fun conventions. Now we got people faking that Beyonce is going to be at a convention.
Well, you got to think, though, is Clint Eastwood sort of letting out his, how he really feels in this role with all the things that
this is a passion project for sure of his.
He definitely wanted to be able to say those words.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt.
How Quentin Tarantino puts himself in movies where he can say the N-word and, look at feet.
I think the next thing that happens is we learn more about this Hmong family.
Oh, wait, no, go back. About when the granddaughter asked for the car.
Oh, yeah, she's smoking, I think it's a cigarette, could be a joint.
Yeah, I think it was just a cigarette.
By the car.
Yeah.
And she goes about this probably the worst way possible.
Yeah, it seems like it's either these actors are really good at making us not like these grandchildren and like the kids. Like
it's just lazy writing, really. It's just bad.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of the dialogue in this whole movie is just bad.
But this is written for people who just need to look at things to slowly understand them. Half the people watching this are like have hearing aids on.
Yeah.
Don't have the closed captions on, so don't even know.
Right, and the movie's on 100 volume, so like it's blaring through the house. That you're 100% right. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, she says something like, when are you gonna die? Am I gonna get this? I mean, it's just like, are you kidding me?
This might be a high camera quality, like made for TV movie when you really think about it.
Well, it's a Ford commercial. It's not a made for TV. It's a Ford commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know about like how this was made, but I like the Ford commercial.
Well, it's interesting because I watched The Mule last year. Have you guys ever seen The Mule?
Yes.
I never saw The Mule, actually.
The Mule is also about him and a truck. It's fucking like he's
There's a threesome in that movie.
Does he?
Damn, should we have watched The Mule? Did I pick the wrong one?
The Mule is crazy.
The Mule has a Clint Eastwood threesome movie. And here's the thing, he's like 10 years older than he is in this movie.
So he's 90.
Yes. There's a 90-year-old Clint Eastwood threesome scene in The Mule.
What the fuck?
Okay, let's stay on the Gran Torino.
But it's the same concept. It's literally like, oh, look at this old man in this truck.
All right. So he goes over, he gets annoyed by the other family. And then that family has the gang.
Yes.
You want to start talking about the gang?
Well, Tao, we are introduced to Tao, who's walking down the street. What?
Not Toad?
Not Toad, but Tao. He's walking down the street and he's getting picked on by a gaggle of Latinos. Some Latin kings in the car. But luckily, his cousin, who is with a group of Asians in a different car, decides to roll up and sort of defend him. And also the Latin kings are saying some very rude things to Tao. Have you guys ever been picked on by strangers like that from a car?
Of course.
I only got occasional things thrown at me, but never that long-term harassed.
Yeah, it's scary to get yelled at by somebody in a car because there's almost some anonymity with them being in a car. Like they're impervious because they're in a vehicle and you're really nude in the street. I couldn't imagine. It must be terrible.
Do you think that those sorts of interactions between Latin gangs and Asian gangs are actually happening in Detroit?
Or do you think this is like Clint Eastwood's imagination?
Yeah. I don't even know if there's really that many Asians in Detroit, to be honest.
I don't know. Michigan has a whole variety of like interesting diasporas that end up there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe then.
I could see this being like a very random, let's just actually look this up. Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you ask ChatGPT?
Yeah.
So
the acting and okay.
Never mind. What were you gonna say?
No. It comes later.
Well,
but I could tell immediately from the gangs and the car thing that it was going to turn around the pro-Asian. Like I could already see the move happening. That's the storyline of the film. Like at the beginning, it's very anti-Asian. And then like the second the Mexicans roll up and that thing went down, I was like, oh, he's going to start to love these Asians. I could like tell.
Yeah.
And that was like
for sure.
5 minutes in,
Yeah. It's like, oh, they're his neighbor. He's going to come around and they're going to be best friends.
Yeah. It's like pretty obvious.
The American dream. We can all live together.
Did you forget how many Asians are in Detroit?
There's 15. Out of the Hmong people, 1,500 is what the number was. Which is
not a lot.
Yeah, not a lot.
And
they're
say
just all in that neighborhood though.
Yeah.
Right. And they say to Clint, at one point, why are you here? Get out of here. Everybody else.
I do want to point out that it's also likely that the King of the Hill family, the
Laotian.
Yeah, they are probably of the same ethnic group.
Yeah, when I watched this, I actually thought they were Laotian. I was excited.
Well, it's likely that they're the same group. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so
cool.
The gang is desperate for recruiting, so they're trying to get Tao as part of it. I thought Tao was like 14 years old at the beginning of this movie. He's definitely like post high school age.
No,
I think he's like 16.
No, man. How does he work on a construction job then?
Because Clint knows his buddy.
Yeah,
I think the dude's like 19.
No shot.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're wrong.
Well, he doesn't seem to be caring about school.
His cousin and the gang, they try to get Tao to steal the Gran Torino. Why is the Gran Torino sitting out? At one point,
it's in the garage. He has it secured in the garage.
Yeah, but when the Asians look at it, they're like, there it is. And it's like, out in the open.
He's an old man. He likes to move his car, maybe wash it.
Wait, we just skipped so much shit by moving to the car thing.
No, it's not too much difference.
Okay, first of all, the racist joke at the bar was pretty fucking funny, actually, where he's like a Mexican, a Jew, and a colored guy walk in.
Oh, yeah.
That one was actually kind of funny. I laughed at that one. Second of all, the acting.
What was the
punchline
scene?
The
punchline was like, "We don't serve you here."
No, the bartender said, "Get the fuck out."
Get the fuck out. Okay.
That was the punchline.
It's like directed at 3 people. Groups of people. Kind of funny.
Like
the acting when they're in the garden and then the Asian gangsters roll up a second time.
Yeah. Well,
really
when they're
bad.
when they're pressuring him. The Asian daughter, Sue, the sister, she is especially bad at acting.
Yes. Like really bad.
Like cringily bad.
Yeah.
And they're talking about, I'm Spider. And I'm like, this is horrible. I mean, it was just terrible.
Pretty much all the acting other than Clint was really bad.
Yeah. I agree.
Clint was just playing himself.
Right, so maybe that's not even acting.
Like, did you guys ever watch the Dirty Harry movies for like when he was a cop in San Francisco? Those old ones from the 80s and 90s?
No, I've seen like Fistful of Dollars though when he's like a cowboy.
Okay. Yeah, the Dirty Harry movies are really cool, but like it's the same voice and everything. He talks out the side of his mouth. Great scene that went very underappreciated when he had chewing tobacco on the porch and the old lady on the opposing porch
spits out even a bigger one.
Yeah, that
big,
I was dying.
Big dogged him.
Big dogged him.
I also liked when the priest put him in his place at the bar.
What did he say?
He says, "It sounds like you know a whole lot more about death than you do about living." That was pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
a lot. Remember that?
Big talk.
I do.
He was trying to order like a Diet Coke before.
Right. Meanwhile, Clint Eastwood literally ordered a citywide in Philly style, got a shot of whiskey and a PBR.
I wanted to see if you caught that. The PBR.
I caught that. I fucking caught that.
It's like a casual one too. That's when you know you're a retired man with just a widow, and who cares? You can drive your old truck home a bit tipsy.
Yeah, he seems almost happy that like he's never really sad about his wife. He's sort of like he's just living his life. He's doing guy shit the whole time.
Yeah, he's just getting drunk on his porch a lot.
Yeah, drinking a lot of brews and talking to his dog,
smoking cigarettes, doing whatever random projects, yelling at the neighbors. It's kind of a good time.
Anyway, so yeah, Tao tries to steal the car, right? And
because
it doesn't go well.
Too by the gang.
Yeah, pressured by the gang. Walt catches him in the act. He's about to shoot him, but they trip.
Very reminiscent, may I say, of Crash when Sandra Bullock falls down the stairs.
Wow. Two racist movies where somebody falls.
I want to note that the only time Walt ever fired a gun in this whole movie was when he fell.
Of course, the pro-gun guy has to come out of his shell.
Unless you count that when he went
finger guns, when he was finger blasting them.
I mean, that counts when he used finger guns. He does that like 5 times.
I remember when this movie came out, I was doing that a lot as a kid.
Really?
Finger guns. And now I'm realizing that I should have definitely been red flagged.
Yeah, like in math class, you were.
Yeah, like.
Damn, that is badass.
Should do that in class, Stan.
So, I mean, Tao immediately has some trouble with the gang because he wasn't able to pull it off or something, or they're just harassing him more.
They're going to give him a second chance. He wants nothing to do with the gang. But.
Yeah, and then they throw him outside. There's huge confrontation, and Walt again jumps in, scares him off, right, with the gun.
Yes.
And the Hmong people love him for this.
Wait, I have a question. He yells, like, "Get off my lawn" during that scene. Is that the origin of people saying that as, like, an old man thing? No? Okay.
They've been saying that for the origin of people saying, "Get off my lawn."
Yeah, This is just a catchphrase, but not like it started earlier.
It'd be interesting to see where that originated, though.
Yeah.
I remember that being said in, like, Courage the Cowardly Dog and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Simpsons.
But I like that he's using an old World War II rifle, or his like M1 Grand rifle for that.
Well, it wouldn't be World War II. It'd be.
Well, if it's same era, if it's an M1 Grand, regardless of the model of the weapon. I thought that was interesting because if he did put a hole through anybody with that, that's a big hole. Those people,
really,
they are hurting after those ones.
That's why they backed off.
Yeah. I also thought about, do you remember during like the George Floyd protests, there was those like 2 white people in Missouri that were like pointing on the lawns? I was getting that flashback.
Oh.
And I wondered if they felt like they were Clint Eastwood. Get off my lawn.
Oh, for sure.
But they had tiny guns, didn't they?
Well, I think one had an AR and then one had like a little pistol.
Yeah.
And their wardrobe was really bad.
Yeah,
I also think it's lame how the gangsters run 5 deep in a sedan.
Yeah.
If gangsters came at me 5 deep in a sedan, I'd be like, "You guys can't afford your own cars? Like, where where's the drug money going?
And that seemed like the only vehicle they had.
Yeah, like
Successful gang at all. Like I didn't see what actual like business activity were they doing? I didn't see any like money laundering.
That is sort of a Clint Eastwood vibe.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're not really clear what are they doing as a gang.
and the priest at one point he's like, I do a lot of work with the Hmong gangs, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
Also, what do you mean gangs? I feel like it was just the 5 dudes. I never saw like even when I don't want to skip too far ahead. Even when they go to their headquarters, it wasn't like it was a whole block of them. It was just those 5.
Like dudes. 6 dudes, maybe.
Yeah, 5-6 dudes. Yeah. So
I guess
a one man's battle against that gang is very doable.
Yeah, it's more of like a social club. I mean, it doesn't matter. Let him join it.
Yeah,
they're not doing any
yeah,
crimes,
let him steal
really.
the Gran Torino.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
So after he protects Tao, the Asians start dropping off a lot of gifts for him on his porch without him liking it. He's against it initially. Which I thought was pretty cool. I'd love to have sort of like a baked pig delivered to me and sort of
we can
become the hero.
You drop gifts off at your apartment for being. What would you like? Statues?
I mean, what he got, like nice flowers and suckling pig and
dumplings,
fried rice, yeah, stuff like that.
That would be dope.
That food did look pretty damn good, actually.
If you were the savior of an ethnic group, like how Clint Eastwood was, what food would you want?
Oh, like which ethnic group would you want to be bringing you food?
Yeah.
Damn. Good question.
Yeah.
I mean, Clint did good with the Asians.
I'd like some Turkish food.
I might go Mexicans.
Jared thinks he's gonna get Turkish delight if he saves them for these fucking kids.
Yeah, I don't know why he picked Turkish food. That's a weird pick. I'm going Mexicans.
Euro platters and stuff like that, and a bunch of like couscous. Oh,
I'd save like a barbecue shack from like getting firebombed, and then they'd give me all the barbecue.
That's a good answer.
Or McDonald's. I'd save McDonald's. McDonald's CEO, and then he'd give me free McDonald's.
Okay.
Sick.
Anyway, so Tao sort of apologizes to Walt for the car mishap, right? And wants to
work off his debt.
Work off the debt, right? As like penance.
Yes.
Walt is like, I don't know about that, but then he starts to like begin to mentor him, and he's teaching him good. He's teaching him good lessons about work ethic and tools and being a man. And this is sort of where you get into the white savior complex.
Interesting. Okay.
At least that's what I saw. What did you guys think of the working montage of when Tao is banging things into walls and destroying beehives and stuff?
Yeah,
it was pretty lame.
Yeah, he was. I like how they were trying to, like, him removing that tree root was supposed to be like a very emotional experience.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if you ever had to remove a tree root. It's always an emotional experience like that. It just sucks. But it's not a montage scene.
Well, it's funny to go from like Saving Private Ryan, where there's these big dramatic sequences.
Dude's walking around without arms while this kid's just like he's getting muddy.
Like getting leaves out of the gutter. And you can tell
he's
Clint
braver than the troops, though, and we all know it.
Yeah, for even talking to Clint.
Yeah, honestly. And for living in Detroit.
There's also some weird stuff going on with Sue at this part in the movie.
With the black guys?
With the black guys. This is another scene that really reminded me of Crash. Walt is across the street in his car, and he notices Sue walking with some gentleman who is
his son, actually.
What?
That's Scott Eastwood.
Oh, that's actually Scott Eastwood?
Yes.
That's so weird. Okay,
Which is really funny that he casted his own son to be like the annoying white guy dressed up in like black guy clothes.
Yeah, what are those guys called again?
Losers.
Anyway, that guy.
No one took the bait on that one.
No,
I already said the Z word, which apparently was really bad and I've never heard.
Now
so I
he's
wasn't gonna
saying
give you
the
that
Z word. Wow, God damn! I'm gonna have to edit that.
one.
It sucks. Anyway, oh yeah, so these guys are really interested in Sue, and this is more cringe convo from Sue. She's saying stuff like, "Oh, really giving into the stereotype, huh?" Like she's fighting back. She's a little feisty, and these guys are like, "Oh, I like this. I like this is crazy. This girl's crazy." In so many words, but Clint saves the day. What does he do there? Does he have a gun at this point too?
He does finger gun, then he does real gun.
Yeah.
He does.
Which I'm surprised none of these guys are packing. Which is crazy to think. These guys are about to like commit like a broad daylight, like SA
Assault
without a weapon. Like that's some bold behavior.
Yeah, and they sort of just walk off like, man, that sucks. And like go about their day. It's like, how do you really go about your day after that?
Also, like where I just the other part that like were they just gonna whatever they were gonna do to Sue just right there on the sidewalk?
Well, who knows? Maybe they were just flirting.
I don't know.
They were just talking.
Just flirting.
I don't know.
But Sue is becoming friends with Walt. They're becoming more than just neighbors. You can see. What does Walt do next?
He drives her home, and then Towels continues to help out. And wait,
then he goes to the party.
Yeah, Sue invites him to the party, and then I love the party scene with them.
That is a good scene.
That's the best scene in the whole movie.
Pats the little girl on the head, and everyone's pissed off. That's something you would do, Dan.
What?
You pat the girl on the head?
Yeah, piss off like a cultural like norm by like just being polite.
Sure, that's what you would do. You got almost assaulted by that Georgian stripper one time because he started yelling at her about Putin.
Well, there is other.
Don't project onto me your inability to interact with people.
The patting on the head. The patting on the head.
Well, it is sort of out of character for.
Yeah, he never showed any.
No, he really immediately changes up his shit, and I didn't like that part. Like he saves Sue, and then like immediately he's like, "Oh, I'll go to the party, and I want to be friendly with people." It's like, this is bullshit.
Maybe he views himself, like you said, John, that white savior complex. Like he saw himself in the Korean War as like saving the people there. So now he's like, "Oh, I'm the soldier again. I need to help." The war is at my home now.
I think there's some truth to that.
Yeah.
I mean, Walt touches the kid on the head, and then it's like, why is nobody looking at me in the eyes? And they're like, in Hmong culture, it's rude to look someone in the eyes. It's like, I don't even know if this is true. I'm just going with it. Feels like Sue might even be making this shit up.
Maybe, yeah.
I like the part then when he finally makes his way to the kitchen table and all the moms or the old ladies just keep feeding him.
Mm-hmm.
It's underrated that he's drunk as fuck too. Like it's his birthday and he's had like 8 PBRs on his porch before he goes there.
Yeah.
Like if that was me, I'd be like crushing that food. Like,
yeah,
damn,
was crushing. And he was continuously drinking whatever beer they had there.
Right.
Then he heads down in the basement for some reason with the younger crowd.
Sue tells him to go down. And then he like tries to make himself like part of the scene down in the basement. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he's doing there. He goes up to
I loved his little speech to Tao though in the basement.
Yeah.
We calls
like trying to make him fuck that girl.
Called her Miss Yum Yum.
Yeah, and he's like giving him tips on how to hit on women. I was like, damn, we should make Clint Eastwood be like in charge of saving the incels.
It could work.
Just show that scene to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's a moment where Tao really connected with him, and that after that is like where he really picked up a lot of his like working ethic for Walt.
what was that?
I think he picked up his work ethic for Walt after that. Like,
Walt, that's his name.
yeah, it's Walt.
Well, I think he had good work ethic before that. I mean, he tried the tree thing. He tried to lift the tree. He's always been a good worker. Early in the movie, he's doing dishes and
That's true.
He's a good worker the whole time. Like him and Walt are just simpatico.
Yeah. What about
I'm with you, John.
What about okay? Now you want to move forward to when he starts trying to get the construction job?
No.
Yeah,
So then after the party, it's revealed that he's got his lung cancer thing going.
Right.
Oh yeah. He's inhaled too much volcano.
Which also felt like lazy writing to me. Like that felt like it came out of nowhere.
He was coughing the whole movie, even at a funeral of his wife.
Was he?
Yeah, they were hinting at it the whole movie.
Interesting.
It is sort of a trope of when like old character coughs and there's blood.
Yep.
And you go, oh, that must be serious. He goes to the he goes to the doctor's office, and the doctor's like, they say his name wrong. He gets sort of miffed by that. And then he's like, where's Dr. Peterson?
Dr. Feldman.
Oh, Feldman.
Yeah.
I wrote it down because I said, no way Clint Eastwood would have a Jewish doctor.
And he's mad because his doctor is Asian now, which is about more reverse gentrification. Anyway, what happens next? This is where it might be the barbershop. It might be Tao goes to the barbershop.
Yeah. He wants to get the job first.
Yeah.
And part of it is he wants to, go get some tools or the tool belt. Then he takes them to the barbershop to teach him how to talk to the dudes. I like that scene a lot.
I hated that scene. It was so cringe.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just like toxic masculinity. It's horrible.
It's so embarrassing. Like, that's not even the way people have ever talked in any barbershop. It's like Clint Eastwood's never been to a barber.
I think that's partial. I think he talks to barber shops like that.
Jared, you're still going to Supercuts, so like I don't even want to hear your opinions on this.
I do miss shoot. I like the old Gettysburg barber shop. They talked a little bit like that.
They were all ladies there.
No, the old man one.
I went to the salon.
Oh.
Yeah, I went to the salon too.
You guys didn't go to the men's barber shop. They gave terrible haircuts. Absolutely awful.
That's why I went to the salon. Meanwhile, you're saying a bunch of whatever you want at the men's barbershop, getting fucked up.
It's just like, I don't think that men have ever talked that way. And like, if they did, there would be way more fist fights. Like, it was just insane. And it's like, this isn't helpful training for him. Like, it's like Clint Eastwood, like, trying to do like an anti-PC rant at the barbershop. And it's like, it's not working, bro.
It is very like Fox News, like.
Well, I still like when he has Tao come in and then the barber pulls a shotgun to his face. I thought that was pretty. I didn't see that coming.
It was weird how the barber was also the only other good/famous actor in the whole movie.
Tao within the barbershop says sort of a funny quote at this point. He says, "Excuse me, sir, I need a haircut. If you ain't too busy, you old Italian son of a bitch, prick barber." And then he says something about construction workers have been in his ass all day or something.
Yes.
No, he says the up my ass. Yeah. Wait, does he? I thought he says like the car people are up my ass because he's like faking about his car being broken or something.
Well, he does. He says that to the Irish construction guy. This is actually interesting to think how many people have to like come up with these like really generic like small talk things just to have basic like hiring conversations.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm just ranting about shit all day to anybody who will listen.
That's how Clint Eastwood thinks like men are supposed to act, I guess.
Nah, some work environments are like that, man.
My favorite was when the construction guy said something about the tranny in his Tahoe, and I was like, "Damn, Jared's been there before."
Oh boy.
No.
I don't remember that. I was trying to remember that. I don't remember that.
He goes, "Oh, the tranny in my Tahoe blew."
Oh, you're talking about a transmission, not a.
Yeah, that's what. But he says tranny.
People call a transmission a tranny.
Yeah, but nowadays it lands a little different.
Yeah, you're not going to Conrad's Auto saying I need my tranny fixed.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah. Well, this point of the movie, I'm gonna be honest, I'm losing steam on it. Just in general while I was viewing it. But
there were a lot of times when I was like, this is like the plot kind of goes nowhere. Like it pretty quickly he comes around to the Asians, and then like it's like all good.
Then you just wait for the climax.
Yeah, and you're like, when is this coming? Like,
and then the bad happens.
The Asian group like find Tao again. They throw his tools and then they burn him with a cigarette.
Terrible way.
Yes.
What a bully.
Would that hurt, do you think?
Of course.
Jared, do you remember that time we were at a party and we watched that girl she was burning herself with cigarettes up and down her arm?
Yes. That still startles me to this day. Like, what?
Why was she doing that?
No idea.
To feel alive, I guess.
It was crazy.
Because here's the thing, those scars don't go away. That's with you for life.
You think so?
Oh, dude, a cigarette scar is not like a quick, like very superficial burn. That's a deep tissue burn, especially.
You should have thought a little bit harder in that situation.
Yeah, but that's not his nature. Yeah,
I feel like it wouldn't really burn. Like they're acting like he got branded. Like I feel like it would just be like, ow.
It is hot because they held it in.
We're gonna have to test it out.
All right.
Yeah.
Seems like you're the good candidate.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
What you have to do in my butthole.
So Tao gets home, and then they do the drive. The drive-by.
No, then Clint Eastwood does something in response.
Oh, he goes back and kicks the small guy's ass.
Not the small guy, the big circle guy, the guy who looked like a big circle.
Yeah, I thought he was a
fat guy.
Yeah,
fat guy.
You could say fat instead of looks like a circle.
Well, he called him small, which was just not.
Sounds so more dehumanizing than fat guy.
You called him small, which is just completely inaccurate.
I would say he's a small dude, like in terms of like as a human being. As how
like
he others, I call him small.
Oh wow, that's really big of you.
Yeah. And I imagine telling your friends how a 80-year-old just kicked your ass.
Oh, it's so embarrassing. He had to tell all of his gang members.
Yeah, like
because how would he convince them? It's like you got beat up by the 85-year-old
dude who's shitting his pants
and like has coughs blood.
So really then they do the retaliation.
And they shoot up Tao's house.
Which
doesn't make any sense. Why would you not shoot up Clint Eastwood's house?
Do you think they got the wrong house? My initial reaction was, they got the wrong house.
They're stupid. They're not that stupid.
They have been to Tao's house before.
And Clint's house.
Yeah, so like they know which one is
why
which.
would they shoot up Tao?
Exactly, that's what I wrote down. It's like doesn't make any sense.
Well, they probably thought Tao put him up to it or whatever. They
like he tattled or something. Yeah.
Well, so yeah, everyone's safe. Tao gets, I think, winged. He kind of gets as if like Cooks from Pennsylvania shot.
He gets like hit, a little right in the gobble.
Yeah,
he's fine. And Clint comes over. He's like, oh, he's fine. He got a cut.
Yeah, he's fine. He is fine.
And everybody was. I mean, nobody died in the house.
Yeah, which I was very lucky. I was worried that the dog was going to get shot.
Oh, of course they did keep showing the dog.
Yeah, I thought the gang was going to mess with the dog. Instead, something much worse happened, and then they drop off Sue, who was assaulted.
Which that was weird to me too. Like she walked through the door, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Well, I think that's just the way they wanted to dramatically show it.
So it was dumb. You think they just like speed her up and then like pushed her through the door?
No, dude, she got a full.
Yeah, I think she got R-worded.
R-worded.
That's sort of the implication.
Well, they said it too, like times. Like,
your own. Yeah, it's like your own
kind
cousin.
Your all messed
because it's her cousin. It's his cousin.
They're all kind of related.
So weird.
So messed up. Yeah.
But you can this really pushes Walt to his breaking point, and he comes back in that.
Sees there's no point. There's no way. There's no turning back.
Yeah, and so he just starts punching his glass in his room.
Wait, great punches! The way they edit those.
Yeah, those are good punches.
God, it's like slow mo.
It's sort of like on Body and Soul with the broken glass. I had visions of that movie.
Good call.
There's a lot of threads connecting these films.
I like it when the priest shows up, and I don't know if this quote happened because the priest, the father was afraid he was going to retaliate like right away. He's like, you should have originally called the police when this all started.
No, this happens way earlier, Jared, the police line. But do say it because I love it.
Is like, I prayed the police. I guess I should have prayed the police would show up, but nobody answered.
Badass.
Yeah, good ass line.
That's
a sick line, but it happens way earlier.
And the priest is like, we're not in Korea anymore.
Yeah.
I was starting to get really nervous that he was going to, like, after the rape thing, then he, like, the priest comes and then he goes to confession. And I was like, oh, fuck. If the resolution of this movie is he finds God instead of killing gangsters, I was going to jump out my fucking window. I was like, he better kill those fucking gangsters. I was so mad. But yeah.
Yeah, so, Walt makes a plan at this point.
He goes to confession.
Right, he goes to confession. I don't really remember what he says necessarily.
Kissing a woman at the Christmas party.
Oh yeah, he doesn't really confess to what he did in Korea.
Right, which is supposed to be haunting him, and it's like, what could he have possibly done that's so bad?
That's how most of these veterans hold it, man. At least those old school veterans in Korea.
That was funny that he admitted to kissing some lady at his company
and
Christmas party.
Selling a boat motor untaxed.
Yeah, I was like,
which I thought was funny that he's like such a conservative guy and he makes a pro-tax.
Yeah, I was like, what? Do you think he was just trolling? Like Walt was just like, I'm gonna fuck with him.
Maybe.
And then he drops it finally. I guess he wasn't close with his two sons.
Oh yeah,
right. That's the serious one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So,
which there is a scene we didn't talk about with the sons when one of the sons calls him and is like, "Hey, how you doing?
Still got those line sticks?
Yeah, I still got the line tickets." Like, you fuck.
That's how John is with those tickets calls.
No, Ravens, brother. And
actually, it's more like that's what Jared places the call to John is like. Hey, John, I haven't talked to you in a while. You still got those Ravens tickets?
Yeah, wait a minute. Let
me remind you that I bought John tickets last year, and
for a game I already had tickets to. Really weird.
And he wasted them. That's okay. We'll go past.
Waste not, want not.
You're probably going to wear a football jersey in my funeral, and I don't expect it.
I will. A Lamar jersey, baby.
Yeah, wow, those MVPs are really going to hold weight without us any Lombardis. But
well,
yeah,
your quarterback is a pervert.
Yeah, he is. He is one of the cousins in the Hmong gang.
Nice.
Yes, the Hmong gang. I thought it was Hmong. I don't know where you guys heard.
And so then he locks Tao into the basement.
Yes. Tao thought he was.
Which, like, why does he have a metal lockable door to his basement?
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
That's only lockable from the outside.
Yeah, like what?
What's going on in the previous decades at that house?
Yeah.
Is that where he locked his kids and his wife? Is that why none of them liked him?
Yeah, maybe. But then Tao's acting is so bad when he's locked in that.
Let me out.
Yeah, it's so bad.
I feel like a lot of the acting with this is like on par with like Captain Phillips, and like they had the Somalis actors play the Somali pirates.
Yeah, but they did great.
It's possible, yeah, that you're right though that these aren't professional actors.
Oh, like they're actually Hmong from
that
Detroit.
community, and like they might just be very.
Yeah, maybe.
They just went to an actual neighborhood.
Yeah, I think that could be the case here, actually.
Well, he calls Sue and is like, "Your brother's in the basement. Go get him out."
Yeah,
Which there's actually kind of a big plot hole there.
It's daylight when he calls her.
Yeah, and then it's nighttime when she goes. So she's just like,
she left him there. You go, I'll go get him later.
Time for her to react, let him out, and him to interrupt his plan.
Was it daylight or was the light just on?
no, it was daylight.
That's so fucked. I didn't notice that.
She just leaves him in the basement for so long.
He says bye to his dog. That hurt my heart.
Yeah.
You care more about animals than people. We know that.
Oh my gosh, dude! That dog lost the mom. Now him.
Jesus Christ, Jared, shut up.
So emotionally heavy.
Dog doesn't care. Dog just wants food. He's just upset he's not sure where he's going to get food.
Well, the Hmong family will take care of him.
Yeah, the Hmongs will got it.
Yeah. So he shows up finally. And I like how the priest was there beforehand with the cops, and then the cops basically just strong arm him back into the cruiser to leave.
Yeah, weird.
Like they laid
They're like, we can't give up a unit for this.
It's like, what?
It's like there are a few moments in this movie where it's like anti-cop, and it's really odd.
Yeah.
Clint does not like authority overall, like unjust authority.
You know the quote? He prayed for the cops to show up, and no one answered.
Which is that anti-God or anti-cop? I can't tell.
Could be both.
Both.
Yeah.
Man after my own heart.
Oh boy.
So in the scene, Walt is, he's talking shit, and then everyone's got their guns pointed at him. He's like, "I'm just gonna have a smoke. A
little jumpy, aren't you?"
Reaches into the pocket, throws it out, gets lit up like a fucking Christmas tree, and he lies
Falls
down.
to the ground.
And it's revealed that he was just reaching for a lighter
the whole time,
and that ensures that the gang members will be arrested for murder.
He was really optimistic.
Which is ironic because it turns out that the solution after all is what? Say it with me. 3, 2, 1. Cops.
Show faith in the community criminal justice system.
So was Clint Eastwood doing suicide by gang?
Kind of. Yeah.
100%.
It's kind of messed up.
It's kind of cool.
Because I thought, you thought he was going to shoot people, right?
Yes, I did.
It's going to be like Clint Eastwood. I'm a cowboy. It's a shootout. It's going to be a badass scene.
It's true, strangely, it's like in the end, it turns out to be despite the fact that at the beginning, every problem is solved by a gun. And then at the end, it turns out that all of those instances actually are pointing to non-violence being the answer. And that's even further justified in the last scene. It's very interesting.
Wow.
The politics are crazy to this. It's also kind of anti-war at a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know?
Who would have thought Clint Eastwood would help add to our dialogue more in 2008 than any other movie would have? I also took away that if you point guns at minorities, you're going to get free food.
Wow.
Yeah. So every time he pointed a gun at a minority.
Well, that's again with the white savior complex.
He got food.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And the other
I had one more thing about him getting. Do you think that the gang members would even have that long of a sentence in jail? There were 6 guys. I'm sure some of them would get out in a couple years, probably.
Yeah, but 5.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, so okay, that gives me on the white savior point. Would the lives of the Hmong people been better had Tao successfully stolen the car?
Whoa.
No.
I think the answer is yes.
But think about this.
For everyone except for Tao, I think the answer is yes.
No, now the gang's out of their lives.
Yeah, no, Tao wouldn't want it.
But they also did they raped Sue.
You think Tao doing that kind of stuff is going to be helpful?
I'm just saying.
But
a lot of people had to die in order for him to not steal a cool car.
One person had to die.
Okay.
But think about this as the opportunities that opened up in that whole community. Sue said it originally that the girls go off to college and all the boys end up
right.
Maybe Clint just broke the cycle.
Maybe.
I got my final quote that I really liked.
Well, there's more to this movie.
Oh yeah, we can finish. Yeah, there is a concluding. Yeah,
Walt. We go then to another funeral. It's Walt's funeral, which not a lot of people attended, but it's split half Asian and then half the family.
Not in a Lions jersey.
Yes. Oh, is he not in a Lions? I thought he was in the Lions jersey again.
Wait, that's really funny.
I think he again was in the Lions jersey.
Like this is my funeral Roy Williams jersey.
Have to check. And
you have a funeral jersey. Which one is it? Go.
I only have one jersey.
Ray Lewis, baby, 52.
I'm wearing my Brian Hoyer jersey.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay.
And then the young priest gives a really heartfelt eulogy at this point, and Walt really had a great transformation. And then we go to the will, in which it's revealed that Walt left his prized Ford Gran Torino to Tao, and the family didn't get, and the church and the house went to the church. So those
which is funny. He does kind of turn around to the.
Well, that's what his wife would have wanted, apparently.
Yeah.
But his sons didn't get diddly squat, and Tao rides off in the sunset. I think he's on his way to Chicago, or maybe he's going to Detroit.
I think he's driving.
Oh, there was a city in the background.
I think it was just Detroit in the background, and it's like what is that?
Erie? What is it, Erie?
No, Superior.
Oh.
No, Lake Huron.
Well, now we've said all of them, so.
Not much.
And he's got the dog too, so don't worry, Jared. The dog's fine.
I was so happy about that part.
Yeah, you're just watching it for the dog.
Dude, the dog, that was a good dog too. It was an old dog. Old dogs and old people make me really happy. Okay, so my quote that I think everyone you come across about it, and he said this I think when they confronted the black gang, when he was saving Sue, is you ever notice you come across somebody you shouldn't have fucked with? When was the last time that came across you and you got in an altercation with somebody and you're like, oh fuck, I did that. I'm wrong here.
Oh, interesting.
What are you saying?
Like, when was the last time you crossed someone and you learned that they were the wrong person to cross?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't cross anybody. You
guys, I know.
Pacifist.
I know. I have my answer. When I flipped off the guy when I was running, and then he got out of his car and started chasing after me.
Yeah. That's a good call. I can't think of. I mean, there's been people who I misread, and I'm like, I say something and like, oh, I offended them. But it's never really come down to being chased. What about you?
How about you?
Definitely in Marseille a couple months ago. I went to that one bar called Le Punch, and I started mocking the French bartender, and then he punched me.
At Le Punch?
At Le Punch. And then tried overcharging my credit card a lot of money. Yeah. Shouldn't have.
Remember when Jared said that he's pretty good at cultural awareness and would never pat anyone on the head at a long house party?
I patted the punch on the head. I did not win that fight because I was just too drunk and had to go to a snack stand afterwards.
All right, I've got one. You ready for this? I think this is the first time that a question that I'm going to ask isn't actually... I don't have an answer in mind for this one. Are you ready?
Okay.
Which one of the three of us is most likely to end up like Clint Eastwood in this movie?
You.
I think it's a toss-up. I honestly think it's a toss-up between all three of us.
Oh,
Wow.
I
So-
really do.
I see. Are you saying like John ends up just like in some part of Baltimore and just gets or like?
Yeah, and it's like, and his wife is gone, and he's like, I remember when Federal Hill used to be the nice place for the yuppies.
That's
and
so
like,
fucked.
I could see all of us being like this. I really can.
Yeah. I mean, Jared, I see Jared with the Midwest sensibilities and the gun ownership and the war stuff.
The drinking problem.
Pointing my gun at so many people on my lawn.
And Danny, I see with the crotchety maybe becoming and maybe a little bit more vulgar.
Uh-huh. Like, I think it could be all of us.
It's
a clear winner. You're absolutely right.
That's a really good
Just
point.
wanted to point that out. Maybe we should be a little more empathetic for Clint.
Jesus. How many rats can you get in one room? What do you want?
I live next door.
Come on, get the shit out of your mouth. Tell me what you want. And have some respect, Zipperhead. Kill you to buy America.
He said it.
Barbarians. Not in this lifetime, Sonny. Well, I think you're an overeducated 27-year-old virgin.
Let's go.
A guy go into a bar. The bartender looks up and says, "Get the fuck out of here." Damn, Padre. Bullshit. This is a bar. You have a drink. What do you want? Son of a bitch. It's after 1 PM. It's not morning. Get off my lawn. Used to stack fucks like you 5 feet high in Korea. Use you for sandbags. Get off my lawn. What the hell is this? Can't you people just leave me alone? You kept a bunch of jabbering gooks off of my lawn.
It's 10 minutes long.
Good
Pretty
I do want
good.
to point out that he says, would it kill you to buy American? And I thought it was funny because the conservative in this podcast also drives a foreign car.
Yeah.
Who's the conservative in this podcast?
That's funny though.
Jared.
It's assembled in Ohio.
Oh, wow.
I mean, what car is built in America? I mean, your thing's dead if it was built in Ohio.
It's a Honda.
Oh, I like
Jerry
that.
drives
I
a
like
Honda, but he loves
If
America.
it was a Honda, it
He
was
can't-
probably. What were you gonna say?
Even he can't support American auto.
Yeah.
Dude, like all Hondas are built in Mexico. Like, there's no way it was assembled in.
No, Ohio's a lot of assembly. The Jeeps, Chrysler, Honda. A lot of it's here.
Well, I mean, I think we went through the film. Do you guys have any other thoughts before we give out a score? Anything you didn't?
I'll save my big thought for my score, I think.
Okay, Jared, why don't you start us off?
Yeah. This is a perfect holiday season film to put on for anyone who's hosting, some of their older parents or other grandparents. Family classic, mild racism that, is just going to continue.
Mild racism.
Age interestingly over time. I think it had a much more fun racial message than Crash.
Yeah, I agree.
It's, one of Clint Eastwood's final hurrahs before it gets a little too weird for him to be in movies. And, it's an easy go and watch. You don't need to be, it's a popcorn flick that you can just put on in the background and keep the other people happy and think about, their internal biases. And you're doing other stuff in the other room. So score wise, are we on a letter system? Or are we on a four?
1 out of 4 out of 5.
1 out of
0
5.
out of 5.
I'm giving it it's a 3 out of 5 movie for me.
Nice. I think after you've given everything a 3 out of 5.
I could put this on every 5 years and be okay watching it. And that's about what I'm on the rate of.
The last time
Damn, you've watched this movie that many times?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh, easily. This
That's
is my
crazy.
4th or 5th time watching this.
No way.
What?
It's on TNT all the time.
You gotta sit through it for 8 hours if it's on cable.
This or Shawshank.
Shawshank.
Yeah, well, no, Shawshank's in a different league.
Yeah.
And Goodfellas would be like, oh, this is the rest of my evening.
That was my 2 cents.
I like that. I'll go. I actually hadn't seen this before, but recommended it because I heard it was racist and thought it would go well with this crew. And I found myself mostly bored with this movie.
It is,
if not slightly amused occasionally. Thought the ending was interesting. But there is, that stuff we were talking about, like the white savior complex, and like you can tell he's trying to be political, but it still does feel like almost like a Western, which I thought was like, it's like a sheriff protecting the town. I mean, it's just Clint being Clint. And I need to watch more of his movies to see if like this is just a theme. Like the way you guys said that the mule is just the same thing. Like I'd like
you
to
really got to watch
verify
the mule,
that.
dude. That's fire.
Macho. If you have
Maybe I meant to pick the mule, but I picked this instead. That might have happened.
Definitely a better pick.
Well, in any event, I'm giving this a 2. No, I liked Flintstone better than this. I enjoyed the Flintstones.
More like Clint Stone, am I right?
If he was in the Flintstones, it would have been really, really good.
Interesting.
As Betty.
My turn. In a rare occurrence,
Oh gosh.
I am giving this the highest score out of the three of us. I'm giving it a 3.5, and I was damn close to giving it a 4.
Oh.
Wow.
So, obviously the politics are terrible. That's fine, whatever. We have to expect this of Clint Eastwood. As far as Clint Eastwood movies go, though, politics aren't that bad. And here's my thing. Kind of a sexily shot movie like a lot of the time. Like a lot of the time. The porch shots with him drinking the beers, the dog sitting there, the American flag in the background, the truck on the sidewalk. It could have been a fucking Norman Rockwell. It was beautiful. Beautiful. And furthermore, the shots in the Hmong house during the party, some of those were really beautiful as well. And those made me wonder how much better he would be as a filmmaker if he weren't committed to the Norman Rockwell bit. Like, if he were just doing movies. Like, I think he could be really good, and it makes me sad. So I'm giving this a 3.5.
Wow.
3.5.
The lighting.
He's definitely an auteur. He's definitely an auteur, but the problem is that his themes are grumpy old man, car, dog, racism.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a good movie.
Didn't see that coming.
Well,
that's some.
Next pick is Danny.
And we will be watching a movie called The Teacher's Lounge, which is available on Netflix.
Okay.
Please join us next week for that. It'll be a great time.
Is it Hungarian?
It's not Hungarian.
You know, folks, thanks for tuning in to this segment of Fishy Film Fridays.
Likely some fish involved during the Hmong house party.
Oh, I was going to say, were there fish?
I think probably.
Smash that like button. Smash that.
No.
We don't do that cringe shit.
You're gonna just smash in general though, and we'll see you here in a couple weeks as we get this next one together.
All right, folks. Thanks for watching.
Bye.